And welcome to the second game of our Baruch doubleheader between Baruch College and now Gallaudet University. We just witnessed the women's team beat SUNY Cobleskill in what was a nail-biter, 72-21. Alongside Brian Flannery, I'm David Justin. Brian, what a game we just saw, and what basketball we still have to come.
Yeah, we definitely got lucky with a great first game in the women's game, and now Gallaudet traveling from Washington, D.C., coming all the way to New York City to play the Baruch Bearcats. So big matchup here on deck for the men's basketball team.
So a great opportunity for Baruch today. Gallaudet really having their early season struggles. And struggling scoring only 53 points per game.
Yeah, and again, this is a almost entirely different roster coming off of last year with the Baruch men's team. So it's really important for them to find their stride early and kind of create that chemistry that we saw with that other group for so long.
And to your point, granted, a bunch of 5 freshmen on the team, couple transfers, and they're really leaning on 2 new players. Number 1, Sean Donnellan, leading the team in points, leading the team in assists, leading the team in three-point percentage, field goal percentage, and Adnan Bajrami, 12 points a game, really that secondary scorer. And then their third best scorer is Ryan Graziano, a junior who we didn't really see much of, also coming into this Baruch team.
Yeah, so a lot of new key pieces for the Bearcats. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Alisi uses them and how they mesh together as a unit.
And a lot of times when any team, let alone the quality Baruch team that we've seen the last few years, is coming together after losing probably 3 of their top 3 scorers from last year, and Andre Harris, William Sixsmith, and Bryler Page, and also probably their best assist maker in Jack Sixsmith. We really thought it's surprising to see maybe Baruch at 2-1 here in the early part of the season when you lose that much talent.
Of course, but that really kind of speaks to both recruiting and just the system, So it'll be interesting to see how this team kind of meshes together and creates their own identity, because we saw the other identity with those players. It worked very well for a long time, so it'll be interesting to see.
And you have to assume that this is Coach John Alisi's toughest task to date, because at least in the we shouldn't say that, and at least since we've been doing the games, because you always had that bona fide player that you knew, all right, this is our maybe 1A, 1B guy. This year, almost had to feel out, all right, maybe he knew in practice, but once you see it on the court, this is going to be the guy that really takes over and does some stuff. So we're going to turn it over now to our PA announcer for our starting lineups.
University Bison and your Baruch College Bearcats. Let's meet those starting lineups. First for the Bison. At forward, a 6'4" sophomore from Angola, Minnesota, number 2, Matt Chernow. At guard, a 6-foot junior from Fisher, Indiana, number 5, Preston Kelly. At guard, a 6-foot senior from Riverside, California, number 10, Noah Valencia. At guard, a 6'1" junior from Lakeland, Florida, number 20, Sean Daniels.
He's repping for him.
And at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Miami, Florida, number 21, Cory Smith. The head coach of the Bison in his 5th year, Kevin Kovacs. The assistant coaches, Ryan Dennis, Keith Westholter, and Ryan Palmer. Now the starting lineup for your Baruch College Bearcats. At guard, a 6-foot freshman from Eastchester, New York, number 1, Sean Donnellan. At guard, a 6'3" junior from Houston, Texas, number 11, Adnan Bajrami. At forward, a 6'2" junior from Comac, New York, number 13, Ryan Graziano. At guard, a 6'1" junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 14, Michael Richards. And at forward, a 6'5" senior from Downey, New Jersey, number 22, George Smith, Jr. The head coach of the Bearcats in his 7th year, John Alisi. The assistant head coach, Tamara Corinne. The assistant coaches are Jimmy Barrett, Joshua Jenner, and Veronica Gage. Remind you and ask for your cooperation to support all participants and
So we are moments away from tip-off here between Gallaudet University and your Baruch Bearcats, and just the lineup alone, only returning starters, George Smith Jr. at the center. Outside of that, you heard it from PA, Sean Donnellan, Adnan Bajrami,
Ryan Graziano,
and of course Michael Richards, who's actually been around this team in limited action, getting a starting role this season, really seeing way more minutes.
Yeah, which is great for him because he's definitely been a role player off the bench for the Bearcats throughout his career.
So definitely paying his dues, and Baruch will be going left to right here in the first, and they're all white uniforms, light blue trim, and it'll be Gallaudet University with the ball first as they have their road blues on and gold trim. The Bison of Gallaudet started off. It'll be Sherman outside to number 20, Daniels. Back out to Sherman. 3-ball there by Sherman. Off back rim, no good. Donnellan with the rebound. And Donnellan into the front court, calling out the offense for the Bearcats. Looking for options. Richards in the near corner. Nope, instead it'll come around Graziano looking for the ball. He gets it right wing. Pull up 3 by Graziano. Off back rim, no good. Richards to fight with the ball. Ball comes to number 10, Valencia. And it'll be Gallaudet's ball in the front court. Ball quickly moves around the perimeter. Valencia with the 3. Shot a little too strong, hits the stanchion, and it'll go back to Baruch. So some quick action here in the first half. 45 seconds gone. And now Donnellan will bring it up for the Bearcats. Gives it up to Smith Jr. Now it's Donnellan going baseline. He tries to get the pass, kick it out to the corner. Ball's tipped away by Gallaudet, and it'll go to the Bearcats.
Yeah, both teams kind of struggling to get going thus far. Let's see if the Bearcats can convert on this possession.
Bounce pass, George Smith corrals it up top. Looking for options, hands off to Richards. Richards runs into a pick. It's going to be a nope. It's going to be a block, excuse me, on number 2, Matt Sherman. And the ball will be inbounded here by Graziano right in front of the Gallaudet bench. A little over a minute gone. Still scoreless here at the Arc Arena in the second game of our doubleheader. Bounce pass into George Smith Jr., and it's going to stay with the Bearcats. Dangerous play right here. Ball coming towards him. He's coming towards the sideline, so tough play there by Smith Jr. Ball knocked away there by Sherman, and it'll stay with Baruch. Now it's Donnellan up top. Takes the pick from Smith Jr., gives it outside to Bajrami, but it's going to be a kick ball, and once again it's going to be an inbound in front of the Gallaudet bench. Graziano to inbound. Looking for runners off the picks. It'll be Smith Jr. again getting the inbound. We've seen it a couple times on the inbound play right up to Smith Jr. on top. Pick now to Smith Jr. Graziano rolling his ankle. He's down and he's hurt. He's hurt. It's could be an easy bucket for Gallaudet on the other end. Nope, it's actually going to be a miss by Valencia, and it's going to be a timeout for Coach Alisi. As Graziano's going to walk it off. He turned it over there as he hit the deck in pain, but he's going to say he's good. And I think we may see a substitution nonetheless. As Graziano comes limping off, and I think it's tougher there for Coach Alisi to leave him on the floor, especially when he went down in what seemed like where it was more painful than to hold on to possession.
For sure, you definitely want to play it safe there.
And Baruch lucked out on the other end as Valencia was unable to finish with the left hand. Now it's Richards up to Donnellan. Ball swung around the perimeter. Newly checked into the game, Jamel Fair, freshman out of Jamaica, New York. 3-ball there from the corner from Donnellan's no good, and Gallaudet can push. Smith thinks about the 3, kicks it back outside. Kelly for the 3. He knocks it down. Nice play there by number 5, Preston Kelly. And the first bucket of the game, a little more than 2 minutes gone here in the first half. Baruch are now trailing 3-0. Fair has it now. Bounce pass inside to Bajrami. Bajrami goes baseline, trying to finish with some English. Can't, though, in the rebound there by number 5, Preston Kelly. Smith to push it into the front court for Gallaudet. He'll have to circle back. Kelly has it up top now for the Bison. Looking for options. Sherman has it up top. Hand off to Valencia. Back out to Smith. Takes the pick from Valencia. Now looking for Valencia again. Left wing 3. Off front rim. No good. Rebounded there. It's going to go off of, I believe, Sherman underneath last, and it's going to go back to Baruch. And a sloppy play here. A little bit how we saw in the women's game earlier on. Sloppy play in the early going for these two sides.
Yeah, both sides kind of struggling to get going like we saw in the women's game. And then that turned out into an offensive shootout going into the halftime. So
maybe everyone just trying to catch their bearings a little bit. Double pick here. Takes the pick left from Bajrami. Does Donnellan. Now gives it outside to Fair. Fair into the paint. George Smith Jr. Free throw line jumper. Rattles that one home. And Baruch's on the board. A little more than 3 minutes gone here in the first half. And maybe Baruch really not settling into their offense that well. Nice play there to set up Smith Jr. As the ball is quickly swung around. Smith 3 for Gallaudet. Around and out, no good. Rebounded high by Bajrami. Nice corral there, unable to hold on to the board as Donnellan now brings it into the front court for Baruch. Takes the pick left from Bajrami. Goes into the paint. It's Donnellan off to Smith Jr. Back out to Bajrami. Straightaway 3. Off front rim. Looked a little bit of a line drive shot there. And just short. Now it's Kelly over to Smith. Ball swung around to Sherman to Valencia. Looking for options. Back to Sherman. Back to Kelly. Kelly's 3. Knocks it down. Kelly's second 3 of the ball game. And Preston Kelly having a solid first half. Has all 6 of Gallaudet's points coming in on 4 minutes gone here in the ball game. Ooh, ball stolen there by Smith. It's going to be Bajrami boxing him out, and it's going to go back to Baruch. But a sloppy play there by Donnellan. And I think Coach Alisi called that one out as well. Giovanni Marcier checking into the game for Gallaudet as Matt Sherman comes to the bench after 4 minutes of action. So it'll be Donnellan to walk it up. Valencia on him. Pick there from Smith Jr. Nice little rub off. And now it'll be Fair. Corner 3. Rattles it home. Nice shot there by number 15, Jamel Fair.
Now you can see the Baruch offense getting a little traction here.
Baruch now trailing by 1 after they knocked down their second shot. Wild shot there by Preston Kelly. He was looking for a call. Nothing there. Now it's Jamel Fair into the offensive end for Baruch. Gives it inside to Smith. Outside straightaway 3 from Donnellan. He knocks it down. Nice pass there by Smith. And Donnellan thanks him on the way back down the court. Timeout Gallaudet. 4 minutes and 40 seconds gone here in the first. Gallaudet trailed by 2 after a big 3 there by Sean Donnellan.
Yeah, and you really see the Baruch offense now coming together and kind of hitting each other in stride, which is good. So they're getting those open looks and they're converting. So
with 4:40 gone, we'll be right back. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. And welcome back to Baruch Basketball here on Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting live at the Arc Arena. Sean Donnellan just knocked down a 3 to make it 8-6 and giving Baruch their first lead of the ball game.
Yeah, wide open look too. Nice job creating that separation, able to finish.
I think that really went through George Smith Jr., who was able to find the kick out. Donnellan was able to knock it down. So now it'll be Kelly over to Valencia. Ball swung around the perimeter to Daniels. Donnellan on him. Takes the pick right from Marcier. Inside to Marcier. Marcier hits the deck, looking for the foul call. 3 there by Kelly's no good. Rebounded, though, by Smith. Now Valencia has it for Gallaudet. Kelly thinks about the 3. Instead, he'll slow things down. And now Daniels puts it on the deck into the paint. Ball kicked out to the corner. Smith going to drive baseline. Going up against 2 defenders, but Marcier comes away with it. Kelly 3, no good. He's already hit a couple this afternoon. And Richards comes away with it for Baruch. Has a couple guys on. Ball tipped away by Valencia from behind. Nice hustle back by Gallaudet. It's going to be Smith into the front court over to Marcier. Marcier into the paint. Bounce pass inside. Nice find by Marcier as Daniels able to finish in the lane. Nice play there by Marcier to control in the air and find Daniels.
Absolutely. Found him cutting right there. Nobody home for Baruch. So we have a tie ball game here at 8.
Marcier forcing the defense to come out. As Richards now has it inside the paint. Ball tipped. Valencia comes away with it. I think the tip there was by number 5, Kelly. And now Valencia into the front court for the Bearcats. Kelly has it back to Valencia. He's clapping his hands for it. Valencia into the paint. Pull-up jumper. Elbow jumper. Around and out. No good. And Bajrami skies again for the rebound. Bajrami second leading rebounder on the team with 9 a game. Already has a couple here. George Smith Jr. into the paint. Errant pass goes right into the hands of Kelly. Now up the head to number 20, Daniels is able to lay it in.
And Coach Alisi is going to call a timeout here.
So at least it's going to be a 30-second timeout with 13:39 remaining. And Brian, to that, I think Coach Alisi can't be happy with a couple of the back and forth right there from his Bearcat team.
Yeah, Gallaudet's getting way too many easy buckets. So that's really what it comes down to. You got to get bodies on bodies, and they've been able to kind of create some separation in transition and find the open man. So you got to make that adjustment if you're Baruch.
What I'm most, I think, impressed about Gallaudet right now is how they've been able to get really inside that interior of Baruch and then kick it out and find open shooters. We've seen Kelly hit a couple threes, and then we saw Mossier, even though he hit the deck, able to kick it out, which led to some more ball rotation, and they were able to finish inside.
Exactly, and they got that final optimal look. So that's really all we can ask out of an offense, but Baruch really needs to make that adjustment. And speaking of defensive adjustments, Alan Villar just checked into the game.
So I liked what George Smith Jr. was doing on the offensive end, really finding some found Donnellan, for the open three. However, maybe Villar will give him a little more toughness inside.
Yeah.
Pull-up jumper there by Fair off left rim. No good. Rebounded by number 32, Rory Lewis, who just checked into the game. A couple subs there as John Werner Jr. checks in. Now it's Lewis straight away. He knocks it down. Rory Lewis, 6'1" freshman out of Frederick, Maryland. Bit of a homecoming for him because he played against Frederick earlier this season. The Catholic at Frederick, Maryland, in a loss that one of the 4 losses to Gallaudet already has had previously.
Yeah, Gallaudet's coming out strong here early on. Had a long trip from Washington, D.C., but they really came to play, and they're putting it on the Bearcats early to have to respond.
And Valencia Biskupiak was able to rebound that one. Number 1, 6'8" senior, as he's able to finish with the right hand, and he hits the deck hard. A little slow to get up, but definitely someone with size that Baruch's going to have to deal with. And I wonder if that will also precipitated Coach Alisi bringing in Alan Villar to cover him. Good to see Ryan Graziano back on the court after he took that hard spill in the early going.
And a few subs here for the Bearcats as DeAndre Gibbs checks in and Emil Perisic for the Bearcats.
Perisic's first minutes of the afternoon. Pick there by Perisic. Looking for options. He thinks about the shot. Nope, he's going to swing it around. Handoff there to Graziano. Graziano will pull. He knocks it down. Nice shot there by Ryan Graziano, averaging a little over 10 points per game here in the early part of the season.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Baruch to find the open man there and finish.
So Gallaudet swings it around. Now it's Lewis up top. Biskupiak on the pick. And it's going to be an offensive foul on number 1, Steve Biskupiak. Definitely a lot to deal with, the 6'8" senior from Riverside, California.
Yeah, definitely a lot of physicality. You're going to see in that matchup between him and Alan Villar down low in the paint.
Alan Villar, one of Baruch's tallest players at 6'7", the senior from the Bronx in his 4th year. And dangerous pass there. Gibbs able to save it as Graziano gives it back off to Gibbs. Nice hustle play there by Gibbs as Fair almost threw it into the backcourt. Now Villar working on Biskupiak. Inside, nice find. Ooh, can't finish his. That Gibbs underneath, he could not finish. And he's going to get fouled. So it'll be Preston Kelly's first foul of the afternoon, and it'll send DeAndre Gibbs to the line.
Gibbs able to knock down the first.
DeAndre Gibbs' first free throws of the season. Ooh, that one goes in, out, around, and no good. So 1 of 2 from the line. Dangerous pass there by Kelly into the front court, but now Lewis has it in the corner. Biskupiak gives him a pick left. Now swings it outside to Kelly. Bounce pass inside to number 11, Khalib Jones, who just checked into the game. Now 3-ball from Kelly. We've seen him hit already from there, and it'll be Graziano who comes away with the rebound, and quickly into the front court is Fair. Coach Kovac calling out the defense. Gives it inside to Gibbs, who lays it off to Villar. Can't finish. He was looking for a foul call, and that's going to be a foul on Baruch. I think it's going to be on number 10, DeAndre Gibbs on the reach. And Daniels is going to come to the scorer's table to check back into the game for Gallaudet as Preston Kelly comes to the bench. Kelly having a solid start to the game. 6 points on 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 6 from the floor. Baruch trail by 3. A little more than 9 minutes gone. Biskupiak on the pick. Daniels has the ball. Gives it off to Lewis. Now Jones, left wing. Daniels has it. Dribbles back up top. Now left wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bounce pass into Biskupiak. Good matchup here versus Villar. Back into Daniels. Ball's loose. It's going to be a kick ball. The shot by Jones is going to be no good, but won't count anyway. And it's going to stay with Gallaudet underneath. Gives him a fresh 20 seconds on maybe a little bit of a bailout for Gallaudet.
Yeah, you've seen them put a lot of pressure on the Bearcats' interior. So interesting to see if they definitely keep that same approach.
Biskupiak, dangerous pass, and actually had Daniels inside. It looks like Daniels had a little bit of a late release, and you can see Daniels saying, my bad, because I think it was a great play there by Biskupiak on top of the post, on top of the key, to try to find Daniels, who would have had an open layup if the pass went through.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me, they're going to say it was actually tipped out of bounds, so maybe it wasn't.
Okay.
So it was even a better play than we thought. Inbound there to Jones. Jones working in the post. Has Villar, gives it off to Biskupiak. Shot no good. Rebounded there, though, by Perisic. And now it'll be pushed into the front court. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Graziano as number 15, Werner, takes the charge. And checking into the game for Gallaudet is going to be Ronagnik Castle, number 25, as Biskupiak comes to the bench. And it'll be Valencia, gets the ball swiped there by Gibbs. And it's going to be a kick ball on Valencia, so it's going to go back to Baruch. A nice play there by DeAndre Gibbs.
Absolutely. Let's see if Baruch can really kind of try to capitalize here, get back in this game.
Donnellan now back into the game. He'll bring it up. Hands off to Gibbs. Perisic has to be careful on that pivot. It looked like he was bouncing a little bit. Gives it off to Graziano. Pull-up jumper. It's only going to be a 2.
But, yeah, this is our first look at a lot of these new guys for the Baruch program, but it's definitely pretty evident Graziano can shoot it.
Yeah, Graziano's been impressive. We'll see if he can play a little bit of that Six-Smith role from last year, outside shot, and really develop in the coming years. And now it'll be Donnellan inside. He'll get fouled as he go up, and he'll go to the line. I don't even know if it's something that we've really seen in the time that we've covered Baruch, last 5 years as a score, almost a score-first point guard. And that's what I think Donnellan really gives them on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's a completely different look. You're absolutely right about that. We haven't had one of those primary, like you said, score-first point guards. So it's a different look than what we're accustomed to seeing out of this Baruch system. But
because, for the longest time, our leading scorer was Chima, and then you transitioned over to maybe Andre Harrison William last year or two. And then obviously Jack would play the point guard, but be more, and Jack Reese as well, who's still on the team, of course, but they would be more of a pass-first point guard. It's really nice to see Donnellan really go straight to the lane.
Absolutely.
And
it's nice to be able to rely on that, too, if a play breaks down or if an opening is created in the lane.
So Baruch have it all tied at 15, a little more than halfway through the first half. Donnellan knocks down the second as well. The 6-foot freshman from Eastchester, New York. Now it'll be Castle who has it. Gives it off to Daniels for Gallaudet. Takes the pick from Castle. Looking for options. That option comes in for number 2, Muhammad Guy. But it's a turnover for Gallaudet, and it'll be now Baruch in the offensive end. Now Graziano over to Gallaudet. Donnellan, excuse me. Air ball there from Perisic, and that'll be rebounded by Gallaudet. Gallaudet in the front court. It'll be a pull-up 3. Smith shot no good. It's going to go over the backboard. No, it's going to say a foul on number 10, Noah Valencia, and it's going to go back to the Bearcats. And I didn't see much there, but over the back call is tough when you're giving up size.
Yeah, we saw that with the last game as well. A few over the back calls that were almost kind of inevitable. Just good basketball play going for the rebound.
So Kelly checks back into the game for Gallaudet alongside Rory Lewis. And now it's Perisic into the lane, able to finish off the glass. Nice play there. Emil Perisic from 6'4", freshman from Queens, New York. And if you're a freshman looking to play ball in New York City, and you should see that at least he's trusting freshmen, I think this is a great place to come play.
Yeah, as Sherman converts the 3-ball. Sherman is out of Angora, Minnesota. So shout out to Northern Minnesota, where our compliance director and assistant athletic director, Carrie Thomas, also comes from. So
small world, apparently.
Absolutely. So major shout out to the Sherman family and Carrie Thomas, Skull Vikings. And glad to have you down here in New York.
DeAndre Gibbs on a nice transition steal there. Can they capitalize? Off to Perisic on the baseline, looking for options, and he'll pull, and he rattles it home. They're going to say it was a 2. And it's going to give Baruch the lead, 20-18. Correction, they're going to call it a 3-point basket. I think they were looking at the dark blue line. I believe the light blue line is the 3, so a little deceiving.
Yeah, I guess the light blue line is college, and the navy one is NBA, I believe.
That may be accurate. So they will count the 3. They have to stop it just to correct the scoreboard, and with 7:35 remaining, Baruch lead 21-18. Now Smith has it up top for Gallaudet. He's covered by Bajrami. Outside to Lewis. Lewis not afraid to pull. Air ball there. And it'll be George Smith Jr. who just checked back into the game on the rebound. Donnellan now will push. Picks up there by Smith. Donnellan going coast to coast. Can't finish, though. A little awkward shot. Nice interior defense there by Gallaudet. Now it's Smith outside. Ball's batted around loose, and it'll be last off of Baruch.
Tough one there, too, because you don't even necessarily know who it was off of. So before you determine to jump over the bench, you want to make sure.
So I believe that was Richards who may have had a play on the ball, but he believed that it was off of Gallaudet last.
Yeah.
Alan Villar will come to the sideline to get some treatment here. Might have been just a cut or something. So inbound into Lewis for Gallaudet. Now to Kelly. Ball swung around to Smith. Now inside to Biskupiak, who just came back into the game. He might have been looking for contact, but instead he threw up a wild shot. George Smith Jr. comes away with it, and Donnellan into the front court. Now quick to Bajrami. Pulls it back outside to Graziano. Graziano 3 a little strong. Bajrami on the rebound. Ball swung around back up top to Donnellan. Trying to get it inside to George Smith Jr., I believe. Nice save there by Smith for Gallaudet. And Gallaudet's going to push with Mossier going straight at George Smith Jr. Nice no foul, and it's going to stay with the Bearcats. With Gallaudet. Ball's swinging around on the offensive end for Baruch. Unfortunately, not able to get to finish either on that 3 or get it back inside to George Smith Jr. Now Biskupiak has it. Now Lewis on the left side. Biskupiak inside. Right hand. Nice play there by Valencia Biskupiak. And we think we were waiting for him to try to get on the board.
Yeah, good positioning there. Not much you can do if you're George Smith.
Also giving up a couple inches on Biskupiak.
Yep.
Now it's Richards going baseline. Nice reverse. Can't finish. And a lot of wild shots by the rim for the Bearcats.
Yeah, almost uncharacteristic for what we're used to seeing out of a system that kind of relies on discipline and kind of sticking to the system, finding the best available option. So
straightaway 3 there by Kelly. He rattles it home. And Preston Kelly having a solid first half. He's now 3 of 6 from downtown. 9 points. And Gallaudet has reclaimed the lead. 23-21. Now it's Graziano. Ball inside to Smith Jr. on the block. Mossier hits the deck to no avail, and Graziano knocks down the 3.
Again, that seems to be the look that you want, is to get Graziano open behind the perimeter, and once again, he knocks it down. Officials are talking it over here with the coaches, trying to get on the same page.
I think I just saw something that I'm not sure I've seen at any point of our tenure. I'm pretty sure they called Mossier for a flop right there, which was very rare It's a warning for a technical, not a technical yet. I think if he does it again, it'll be technical free throws. But, I mean, in all my time calling.
I believe that's a newly instituted rule.
Oh, okay. They've definitely inherited that from the NBA, even though the NBA could probably call that a little bit stronger. As Bajrami comes away with the steal, he's going straight to the lane. He gets fouled by Biskupiak. And that'll send Bajrami to the line to shoot 2.
His third personal foul. 2 shots for number 11 at Arame.
Bajrami only shooting 60% so far on the season from the free throw line. Make that now 7 of 11 from the free throw line. Matt Sherman checking back into the game as Biskupiak quickly comes to the bench.
Kind of going back to what we mentioned earlier too, David, it's going to be interesting to see a lot of these guys come into their new roles. And once everyone kind of finds their identity, and I think it's going to be a different look from past Baruch teams that we've ever seen, but it could be a very successful one.
And Khalib Jones will check back into the game. And, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times maybe even Coach Elise is probably trying to determine what everyone's role is because a lot of fresh faces, a lot of guys getting a lot of minutes new in the rotation. So it'll be Lewis now for Gallaudet. He'll come inside, kicks it outside to Smith, left wing. Smith into the baseline. He hits the deck, and they're going to say a travel before he got fouled. And I think if he was able to just hold on to that pivot and throw up that shot, they probably would have called it a foul. But moves the pivot and takes an extra step. And now Gibbs at point guard. It's Gibbs, Smith Jr., Bajrami, Fair, and Richards for the Bearcats. And now Richards going to pull a 3 in the corner. He knocks that one down. Michael Richards. And Baruch have their biggest lead of the night, up by 6, 29-23. Valencia waiting to check in for Gallaudet. It's Smith up top now on the offensive end. Hand off to Lewis, looking for options. Sherman on the pick right. Almost thrown into the stands, but instead Jones keeps it alive. Now Kelly has it up top. Straightaway 3 by Kelly, way out there. Just short, maybe a step in, and that drops as Smith Jr. comes away with the rebound. Now it's DeAndre Gibbs into the front court. Richards thinks about pulling. Now it's Gibbs straightaway 3. Shot off back rim, no good. Lewis comes away with the rebound. Now Kelly will bring it into the front court. Now Lewis right wing. Has Jones wide open corner 3. He knocks it down. And that's got to be irritating if you're the Bearcats. A wide open 3 there by Jones in the corner.
Yeah, again, you usually don't see a guy get that open of a look. So something must have broke down defensively to kind of create that mismatch.
And I think DeAndre Gibbs might have got lucky there. I think he had 2 hands on the ball at one point to no avail. Comes away with Smith for Gallaudet. Nice chase down by Richards. And back-to-back turnovers. Now it's Bajrami. NBA 3, no good. Deep rebound, it comes to Kelly. Hands off to Lewis on the left wing, covered by Smith Jr. Gives it outside to Jones. A little jab step. And it's going to be a foul there, I believe, on number 10, DeAndre Gibbs. The 4th team foul, and Gallaudet's 1 foul away from getting themselves into the bonus as Alan Villar will check into the game. And George Smith Jr. will come to the bench.
Again, David, going back to last season too, for a large part of the season, we didn't see a single loss here at home at the Arc Arena. Talk about like home court advantage. We saw that all throughout last year. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bearcats can kind of pick up where we left off as far as home court advantage as Sherman knocks that one down.
I don't think they lost at home at all last season.
I don't believe so.
To your point, they want to keep that run going with a whole fresh group.
Yeah.
It's 29 all, a little less than 3 minutes remaining here in the first as DeAndre Gibbs has it now. Our first basketball doubleheader of the season. 3 ball in and out there by Fair as the Lady Bearcats were able to win in a nail-biter in the first game against SUNY Cobleskill. And we're getting the makings of a very nice game here. And there's a foul on what's going to be probably 3 shots as Valencia put up the 3. And the foul there is going to be number 15, Jamel Fair. As Ryan Graziano comes to the bench to check back into the game. And it's going to be 3 shots at the line and a big play there late in the first half.
Obviously never a foul. You want to commit unless you absolutely have to, but.
And I don't even think it was on the arm.
Yeah.
I think it was more so they impeded where he was going to land.
Yeah.
And therefore, that's going to be called a foul every time. We've seen that more so in the modern game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
See it all the time in the NBA. But obviously, that's going to trickle down to all levels of basketball. So, and I think it was a little bit of a mix-up as Villar and Jones were going for the rebound there, not realizing that there's still one more shot from the line.
Exactly.
So one of two is Valencia.
And to their defense, you don't usually see that 3-point foul, so it doesn't happen every day.
And he knocks down 2 of 3 is Valencia. So Gallaudet lead by 2 with 2.5 coming in on 2.5 remaining here in the first half. Now it's Gibbs over to Perisic, who just came back into the game. Michael Richards straight into the lane. Bounce pass over to Villar. Villar's going to get fouled. He's hacked there by number 2, Matt Sherman. And that'll send Alan Villar to the line to shoot 2. I'm seeing a lot of free throws recently in the latter half of this first half.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of shows how both teams have that same mentality to try to get closer to the rim, finish home, but you're seeing a lot of fouls.
And he rattles home the first, Alan Villar. Alan Villar was only 2 of 5 before that at the line, so now 3 of 6 on the season in limited free throw line opportunities. And he's off on that one to make it 3 of 7, and now it'll be Smith to push, and Gallaudet will push as a whole. It's going to be Valencia, handoff to it's going to be a handoff to Werner, and he gets called for the travel. So it'll go back to the Bearcats, who trail by 1 to this Gallaudet Bison team.
Both teams looking to create a little bit of separation in the score going into halftime.
DeAndre Gibbs has it now on the right wing, goes into the paint, kicks it out to Richards, ball swung around, now it's Graziano, bounce pass to Perisic. He's going inside, nice pass there to Villar. Back up top to Graziano, 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock, into Perisic. Perisic into the lane, throws that one out of bounds. Bad pass there by Perisic as he was trying to find Michael Richards, who would have been open for a 3 in the corner.
Again, kind of uncharacteristic to what we've seen. A lot of offensive mistakes and just a few miscues on our end. Unable to kind of convert on a lot of these possessions.
Now ball's up top to Sherman. Nice move there. Spins, couldn't finish with the extended left hand. Nice D there by Villar. That'll be Perisic pushing the ball up to Richards. Richards going to go baseline. Looking for options. I think it's going to go off Smith's leg last, and he'll stay with Baruch underneath. But Richards got himself into the corner there and really fortunate to get himself out.
Yeah.
Graziano pull up 3 on the right wing. No good. Graziano was taking that 6-minute role from last year where right off the curl he would always try to pull up for 3.
Yep. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of similarities there.
It's a little more size actually from Graziano than maybe Smith had. And now Smith's shot, no good. Nice play there by Jones to Sky for the rebound and put it in off glass. Gallaudet lead by 3. And now it'll be Gibbs. Thinks about the shot over Valencia. Instead, nope, gives inside to Villar. Nice spin move there past Sherman. Can he get it in there? He's able to go hard off the glass. And at that point, after he got spun past Sherman, he was so far deep that it was he had to finish the layup.
Yeah. Tough positioning, too. So good finish there by Villar.
Now it'll be Valencia. Gives it off to Sherman. Handoff there to Werner. Ball out to Smith, left wing. Now it's in the corner. That's going to be Jones. Rattles around, no good. Villar comes away with the rebound. 15 seconds left. Baruch can hold for last shot instead of Gibbs. Will go right at it. Left hand, no good. Now it'll be Jones. Two seconds left. Has to shoot. Knocks it down before the buzzer. And that'll do it for the first half. Gallaudet extending that lead to 3. 35-32. And a nice play there by Valencia at the end of the first half to knock down that buzzer beater.
Yeah, good job just kind of taking it, doing it yourself.
And Preston Kelly leading Gallaudet with 9 points, but really spread out offense if you're Gallaudet. You have to be happy with that. Granted, Kelly has 9. We have Sherman on the board, Jones on the board, and then 4 other guys. So 7 scores for Gallaudet and really spreading out the wealth on the offensive end.
Yeah, and it's hard to cue in on when you don't have one primary scorer. So,
and as a team, Gallaudet shooting close to 42% from the field and 39% from downtown. So Baruch, who's only shooting 36%, is really going to have to figure out maybe how to slow down Gallaudet on the offensive end.
Absolutely, especially beyond the perimeter when a lot of these guys are getting wide open looks.
And for Baruch, they're being led on the offensive end by number 13, Ryan Graziano. 2 of 5 from downtown, 3 of 6 from the field, throwing 5 points each from Dinellin and Perisic, and then Baruch has another 6 scorers as well. So Baruch really finding the wealth on the offensive end, but as a team probably not shooting exactly where they want to be right now, only 35% as well as only 6 of 17 from downtown.
Absolutely, and I think they're going to really kind of come out in the second half, and they're going to have to emphasize just playing clean basketball and sticking to their system, because I think a few possessions here they've kind of gotten out of their system, a few sloppy turnovers, and really just kind of hurting themselves here in the early on. So you got to make those adjustments coming out of the half, and we'll have a close one.
So there's been 8 lead changes here in the first half, so it's been a great game. Exciting stuff between Gallaudet and Baruch. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to preview the second half. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Basketball Broadcasting. And welcome back to the second half of our second game of our doubleheader between Baruch College and Gallaudet University. Baruch leading trailing 35-32. And we got ourselves a barn burner here to probably end our doubleheader. If you're just tuning in, what a great day of college basketball. Baruch winning the first game 72-71.
Over SUNY Cobleskill.
Yeah, so a big game and a late game, a couple free throws at the end, and then a big stop there for Baruch when seemed like a lot was going on and Fincher wasn't able to make the final shot.
Yeah,
so
it really came down to that last possession, and this game has all the makings to do the exact same.
So we are moments away from the tip of.
And we are back here underway as Denellen will take it up for the Bearcats. Song out. Give and go. And there's the finish by Bajrami.
So Adnan Bajrami started it off with a nice bucket there and cuts the Baruch deficit to 1. Valencia has it now. Over to Daniels, now to Smith. Ball swung around the perimeter for Gallaudet quickly. Kelly. Over to Smith. Back to Daniels. And the ball stolen there by Baruch. It'll be Graziano into the offensive end. He'll slow things up, giving it to Donnellan. Donnellan. Donnellan's 3 off front rim. No good. Barely grazed the iron. And it'll be Kelly into the front court. Back out to Valencia. Left wing 3. Shot is good. He's able to rattle that one home. And it's a 4-point lead. Now George Smith Jr. has a baseline. He'll pull up a 3. Shot no good. Definitely not his game as Bajrami keeps it alive. George Smith Jr. hits the deck. I don't know if he slipped or collided. It's going to be an offensive foul on Valencia as Michael Richards stepped in there to take one in the chest.
Yeah, pretty crazy like transition there. Bodies hitting the floor everywhere. Not exactly sure what the cause was. I know George Smith Jr. hit the ground pretty hard. Everyone appears to be okay.
So Lewis has checked back into the game for Gallaudet. Coach Kovacs calling out the defense here for Gallaudet. Donnellan has it now up top. Sherman closed out on him. Ball swung around the perimeter. Bajrami to the paint and could finish. So now Lewis, bounce pass inside, trying to find Sherman. That's intercepted. Looks like Graziano comes away with it, gives it off to George Smith Jr. Donnellan in the corner 3. Ball shot no good. George Smith Jr. battles for it. And it's going to be a foul on Gallaudet. The foul's going to be on number 5, Preston Kelly. That's his second foul of the evening.
George Smith Jr. will go to the line to shoot 2. Almost able to get that one.
So a 1-point ball game, a little over 2 minutes gone, and we have a making of a quality second half here at the Arc Arena.
George Smith Jr. knocks down the second one, and we got a tie ball game here.
38 all. D. Smith to bring it up. Escupiak has come back into the game for Gallaudet. He's calling for it inside as he had the opportunity. And now nice play there by George Smith Jr. on some recovery defense. Then Donnellan up top to Graziano. Ooh, have to be careful. Have to be careful not to travel as George Smith Jr. now gets it back to Graziano. Gives it off to Richards. Crossover move. Back outside to Graziano. Pull up three. Shot no good off right rim. Rebounded there by Biskupiak. Outside to Lewis now. Ball moving freely on the Gallaudet offensive end. Nice shot there by Kelly as he's able to knock down the left wing three and give themselves a 3-point lead. Richards now on the offensive end for Baruch. Dinellen takes the pick from Bajrami. Oh, I think Bajrami was waiting for the shot there. He was already boxing out for the rebound, and Dinellen thought, no, let's hit him on the cut.
Yeah, a little miscue there for the Bearcats. Interesting to see, too, if the Bearcats can make the adjustment for Preston Kelly, who's shooting 4 for 8 from three-point, good for 50%. He's been getting a lot of open looks, and he's been hitting them.
And now he has the ball now, right wing against Richards. He dribbles it out, now close to the halfway line. Richards still all over him. Now Kelly's going to drive. Gives it off to Biskupiak, 18-footer. That's going to come off back rim, no good. And it's going to be rebounded by Graziano. Now Dinellen. He's going to go right into the lane against Lewis. High off the glass, shot short left. No good, and Lewis is going to come away with it, bring it to the offensive end. Coach Kovac just wants them to speed up the tempo. Offensive foul, and another big charge taken there by Michael Richards, and that one a little harder than the last. So Preston Kelly will come to the bench as Werner Jr. checks into the game for Gallaudet, and it'll be Donnellen in the front court. Bounce pass, almost thrown away to Graziano. He's able to corral, now Bajrami in the paint. Working on the low block, fadeaway jumper. Kobe-esque, but no good. And now Smith will bring it into the front court. Smith up top, gives it off to Lewis. Lewis over to Werner. Werner high arcing three, he hits. Nice shot there by Werner. Ball swung outside. It's going to be a pull-up shot. I think it was Graziano there. Yes, it was. Knocks it down from 18 feet and able to stop the run.
Yeah, Bearcats needed just to get on the board there. Gallaudet was getting a little too comfortable.
Now Lewis has it on the right wing. Takes the pick from Biskupiak with Graziano all over him. Lewis hits the deck, able to find Daniels, though. It heads-up play there by Lewis. Biskupiak comes left. Excuse me, pick right. Now it'll be Smith looking for options. Gives it outside to Lewis. 2 seconds, has to pull. Off back rim, no good. Bajrami soars for the rebound. Bajrami has it up top, now back to Dinellen. Takes the pick from Bajrami left. Inside to George Smith Jr. Almost threw that away as George Smith was cutting. Dinellen has it up top to George Smith Jr. Over to Richards, who's in the paint. Can't finish. Ball tipped by Smith Jr. He might have jumped a little early. I don't think he expected it to hit the rim a second time.
Yeah.
And it'll be Daniels into the front court for Gallaudet. Little more than 6 minutes gone. Deep three. Knocks it down. Is number 21, Cory Smith. A big three, and that's going to force a timeout for Coach John Alisi and the Bearcats with 13:49 remaining. Baruch trail now, the biggest lead of the game. 47-40, Gallaudet leads. And you got to be impressed by Gallaudet. Gallaudet, an efficient deaf school in Washington, D.C. Got to be impressed about how they run their offense and how they call out their offense. Communication has been flawless from this team.
Oh, absolutely. You see a lot of communication, and they really just have great anticipation. They know where each other are going to be pretty much at all times, and coaching staff's doing a really good job of keeping everyone together. So very impressed out of this Gallaudet squad.
Coach Kevin Kovac's 5th year with the Gallaudet University, coming in 0-4, but you wouldn't be able to tell that the way they've played in the early going.
Absolutely. And that's why sometimes, too, early on in seasons, records can be a little bit misleading. Because teams kind of take that. It takes a few games to kind of find your rhythm.
Preston Kelly leading Gallaudet right now with 12 points and 3 boards. Throwing a couple of assists there, and he's really setting the pace for Gallaudet. Right now for Baruch, their leading scorer is Ryan Graziano, who has 10 so far. Throw a couple rebounds in there and a steal. So Baruch really having their hands full with this Gallaudet team from D.C.
Oh, absolutely.
For Baruch, it'll be Graziano, Richards, Villar, Bajrami, and Villar. And Gibbs. It'll be Werner, Smith, Jones, Sherman, and Mossier. As Graziano off on that 3, ball's loose. It'll be Mossier that comes away with it. And it'll be Werner who gets fouled from behind by Villar. And sloppy play there by Alan Villar as he's trying to get back on defense.
Yeah, you just want to get back and defend. But yeah, Baruch just looks kind of like a step behind right now, David.
And it'll be Werner to bring it across the half-court line. Almost loses it there, has to spin back for it. Richards comes away with the steal. Nice heads-up play there by Michael Richards. And one for Michael Richards, finishing with the left hand. A sloppy play by Werner, and that'll send Richards to the line for the old school 3-point play.
A really good job by Richards there to not only control his body, but to work through the contact that he knew was inevitable. A lot of times you'll see somebody maybe try to shy away from that, and it'll affect the shot, but great job of finishing there by Richards.
Going through the contact and finishing with the left hand as Jamel Fair comes to the scorer's table to check into the game. No good, though, on the free throw. And Gallaudet will come away with the rebound. Tightly contested as Sherman inside the paint. Finds a cutting Werner, but before that, he took too many steps, and it'll be a Gallaudet turnover as Fair will now be able to check into the game for Graziano. And it'll be Gibbs to run point. 7 minutes gone here in the second, and it'll be Gallaudet on the trap. Fair able to get it across the half-court line. Inside to Villar. And he's able to finish with the left hand. Nice play there by Villar to use his size to box him out.
Yeah, good job by the Bearcats breaking down that full court press there.
And it almost came like a step too late, it looked like. It looked like they were unsure that they were supposed to be in the full court, as Cory Smith has it now. Pick from Sherman. Ball stolen there by Fair. Fair's going to go coast to coast. Off the glass and in. And it's 47-46.
Oh, they're calling the flop there, David.
They're going to call a flop again on number 15. It's going to be a technical this time.
Now, that was definitely into some contact for sure. Interesting flop call. Recently instituted into the NCAA, but that'll send Graziano, who's clearly the newly anointed team technical foul shooter. And he'll shoot some technical fouls.
And he knocks down the first. It will be Gallaudet's basketball, but not before Baruch was able to tie it up. And it'll be Valencia to bring it up into the front court for Gallaudet. The Bison's moving the ball here on offense. It's Lewis. Oh, almost dragged the pivot. Have to be careful on that one. Ball's going to go off of Gibbs last, so it'll stay with the Bisons on the far side. Valencia has it on the left wing. Goes baseline. He's trapped. They're going to say he went out of bounds. Nice play there by Graziano and Fair to force the turnover. And you can feel a little bit of the momentum changing sides coming off the technical and now that play underneath with the trap. It'll be Baruch's ball, all tied here at 47. 8 minutes gone here in the half.
Yeah, Bearcats on a little bit of a run now here.
Nice crossover there by Bajrami. Can't finish. Ball's tipped around. And it's going to stay with the Bearcats underneath. I think it either went off Valencia. I think it went off Valencia last, but it was a bit of a scrum there underneath. Castle waiting to check in for Gallaudet. Inside to Villar. Villar finished with the right hand. Coach Kovac has wanted a 3 seconds call. And now Kelly has it on the offensive end. That's going to be a reach on Gibbs, and he knew it immediately. Sloppy play there as Castle checks into the game. And it'll be Sherman who comes to the bench. And that's going to be an off-ball foul there. I think the foul's going to be on number 10, Valencia. I think it would have been Graziano who got fouled, so it'll go back to Baruch. And another sloppy player there by Gallaudet, and really not maintaining that focus here in the second half, really struggling.
Yeah, they definitely had a little bit of separation and momentum on the Bearcats, but the Bearcats have been able to reclaim that, and now they take the lead here.
Bounce pass inside to Villar. Villar on the post working against Castle. Double team comes from Valencia. Ball swung outside to Graziano. Bounce pass to Bajrami. Pull up three. Bang! He knocks that one down. Adnan Bajrami. And that'll get the Baruch bench off their feet.
That's a real good look from Graziano, too, to go into the interior and then create the separation beyond the perimeter.
Now Kelly, dangerous pass by Lewis, almost stolen. Valencia calling for a wide open three. Floater by Lewis, no good. Castle comes away with it to Mossier. Lewis into the paint, looking for options. Ball's up, no good. Rebounded offensively by Castle, and he's able to finish with the right hand off the glass. So back to three. Pull-up three there by Jamel Fair, no good. Rebounded by Kelly, and probably not the offensive possession the Bearcats wanted, especially the way they've been moving the ball offensively the last few times down the court.
Seemed a little bit rushed there, for sure.
Foul there, on Bajrami, and once again in the landing space of number 10, Noah Valencia. So he'll go to the line to shoot three and a chance to tie up this ball game with 10:28 remaining.
Is that the second three-point foul Valencia has drawn?
Yeah, he had the one earlier as well. Might have been on Graziano as well earlier. I'm not actually.
Oh, that was on Fair, I believe, the first one.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. That is Graziano's first foul. So he knocks down the first. Valencia has a chance to tie it up. 10:28 remaining here in the ball game. It's going to be a great finish here at the Arc Arena. The second of our two games in this doubleheader, as the ladies were able to beat SUNY Cobleskill by a point with only 10 seconds remaining on some clutch free throws by Daniela Zerpolo. It is now the men's chance to try to squeak out a W here at the Arc Arena and keep the run going and move on to 3-1.
Absolutely, but a lot of closely contested basketball here today at the Arc Arena.
So Valencia goes 2 of 3 again from the line, just like last time. And it'll be Gibbs running point. We haven't seen Donnellan back on the court at the early going of the second half. Hand off to Graziano. Bounce pass back inside to Villar. Too strong. We've seen Villar playing well on the interior lately. Unable to finish there, as now Preston Kelly brings it up for the Bison. Looking for options. That option is Valencia. Valencia pull up three, and that was wet. Hits the bottom of the net, and Gallaudet now take the lead. Back up two.
Again, I've lost track of how many lead changes we've seen here today. That's how many there's been.
It's been an exciting ball game for the neutral fan. Been even a more exciting ball game if you're a Bison or Bearcat fan. Now it's Villar inside. Nice find to Richards, able to finish with the left hand. Nice play there. Nice cut by Richards. Nice find by Villar. Way to pass out of the post. Jones coming to the scorer's table to check back in. Castle has the ball up top to hand off to Valencia. He's double teamed. Now it's a handoff to Malser. Inside, trying to give it back to Castle. And it's going to be a nice charge taken there by Alan Villar. Way to take him as Malser just came straight into the paint.
Yeah, good anticipation there by Villar to kind of plant his 2 feet down low and take that charge.
And it'll be Gibbs bringing it into the front court. Gives it off to Richards on the left wing. Trying to get it into Graziano inside. And they're going to say last off Castle, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know if Castle really touched the ball. I saw him box out Graziano as he went up for it. I think it definitely made contact with Graziano's hand, but I guess they're going to say Castle touched it on the way down.
Yep.
Now inbound to Graziano. Corner 3. Shot no good. Alan Villar, though, on the offensive board. He swings it back out. It's going to be Richards who wanted to step into that 3. I think he got it a pass too late. Now he bounces it inside to Villar. Working inside. Able to finish with the right hand. Alan Villar having a solid second half. And now Smith has it in the offensive end. Villar now has 9. Valencia for Gallaudet, and now there's going to be a touch foul. They're going to say it was on number 11, Bajrami, so it'll be inbounded right in front of the Bison's bench. Perisic comes back into the game as Graziano will come to the bench. And it's going to be a timeout for the Bisons. It's going to be a full timeout with 8:41 remaining here at the Arc Arena. Baruch lead by 2. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Athletics. Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting, excuse me. So with 8:41 left, Baruch leading by 2. It's going to be a great finish. I mean, we've really seen Villar here late in the last few minutes really put his name imprint onto this game.
Absolutely.
And get the ball inside the paint and figure out ways to get it into the basket.
Yeah, Allen's really gotten going here late, which is really good to see because that's just another threat to add to this offense. And I think, in turn, if we keep running it through Allen, then that'll create space and separation for those perimeter scorers like you've seen at Graziano. So it'll be interesting to see how the Bearcats kind of run it, but the interior game's definitely on point right now.
Yeah, Villar's definitely been solid, and it's been a good inside-outside game. And also when Villar gets double-teamed or does not have the option, we saw him hit a nice pass to Michael Richards for an easy layup before. But this Gallaudet team is not going away with 8:41 remaining. They've been really solid offensively, and they've been giving Baruch some things to think about on the defensive end as well.
Oh, absolutely. They've given Baruch a ton of trouble and just really kind of – it's tough to defend because they're running their offense through a lot of different guys.
So Baruch break the huddle. It's going to be Perisic, Bajrami, Gibbs, and Richards with Villar. On the other end, it's going to be Jones, Castle, Smith, Kelly, and Valencia for the Bisons. Bounce pass in there to Jones on the right wing. He's covered by Perisic. Kelly has it up top with Castle. Takes the pick from Castle. It's going to be offensive. And that's going to be going the other way. Number 25, Rognagnik Castle, 6'4" freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Gibbs will take it up here for the Bearcats.
A little surprised not to see Denellen back on the court. I think Gibbs has been playing well. Denellen is their leading scorer and figure they want a little bit more of an offensive punch right now. But
yeah, you got to question why he's been on the bench for so long.
And now Bajrami able to get inside and finish.
See a lot of physicality in Bajrami's game too. Really able to kind of drive and create good opportunities for himself on the inside.
I think what Gibbs has been providing them, though, at the point guard position has been really tough defense because we've seen him take some charges. We've seen him, come away with some steals and dive on the floor for some loose balls. So now Bajrami will bring it into the offensive end. It's Villar. He looks at the basket, but instead looking for options. Gives it off to Richards. Needs an option. Finds Gibbs up top. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ball swung around to Perisic. He's into the paint. He'll try to go with the left hand and able to force it in.
See, Persic's pretty good, too, at getting the ball from beyond the perimeter and then kind of driving, creating that separation with the two-step.
And from my understanding, I haven't really seen him pull up from deep, but Oh, nice shot there by Valencia as Bajrami was closing out, but looks like Perisic is a lefty. So it's also something to remind that he's going to always, from that right side, always try to come into the middle and finish with that left hand.
Exactly. Here's Bajrami.
High off glass, and one for Bajrami. What a play there by Adnan Bajrami.
Out of Houston, Texas.
Transfer player just coming into the team this year. What a great finish there.
A really good anticipation, too, to kind of draw that defender, get him to jump, and then to finish for the N1 opportunity.
So a slew of changes here as Biskupiak Daniels, and Lewis back into the game. And it's going to be a timeout for Coach Alisi with 7:09 remaining. Baruch Arc leading now by 6, 63-57. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcat Broadcasting. So definitely a back-and-forth game, Brian. To your point before, you said tons of lead changes, and it's just been a very impressive back-and-forth between both sides.
No, absolutely. Tons of back-and-forth basketball and really well-played basketball on both sides. Teams are now limiting the mistakes, and you're just seeing a lot of quality possessions and a lot of good offense and a lot of good defense. So both teams are playing. Both teams deserve to win this game. That's really what it comes down to. It's just going to be a matter of who kind of closes out late.
11 total lead changes for now, and it's going to be a big next few minutes because when you have the lead at 6, it's either going to be Gallaudet trying to climb back in or Baruch really having an opportunity to extend this lead and close out this game coming down to the last few minutes of the second half.
Exactly.
So it'll be Lewis, Kelly, Valencia, Biskupiak, and Daniels for Gallaudet. Will be Richards, Gibbs, Villar, Bajrami, and Perisic for Baruch. 7 minutes remaining here at the Arc Arena. First home game of the season for the men Bearcat team. Now Kelly has it. Bounce pass inside. Biskupiak can't finish the right hand. Ball's tipped. I think they're going to call a foul there on number 33, Alan Villar. That's going to send Biskupiak to the line to shoot 2. Biskupiak off on the first, so good foul there by Villar. And he rattles home the second, so Baruch's lead down to 5. Gibbs will bring up the ball for the Bearcats. 6:50 remaining here in the ball game. Bajrami has it up top. Hand off there to Perisic. Perisic into the lane, gives it off to Gibbs. Back outside to Bajrami. Bajrami into the paint, gives it out to Villar. Up top to Gibbs. Ball's moving quickly, not a lot of opportunities. Now Villar is found inside. Goes in too strong, unable to finish. Looked like maybe some contact inside. No call. It'll be Lewis into the front court. Nice steal there by Richards. Can he go end-to-end? He can, and finish with the left hand and extends the lead back to 7. Sloppy play there by the Bison as they were coming over the midway point of the court. Now Kelly has it over to Valencia. Bajrami on him. Valencia looking for options, finds that in Daniels. Perisic on him, back to Valencia. Biskupiak comes with the pick. Bounce pass inside. Finished with the right hand. I thought he was going to dunk it there for a second.
Yeah.
But able to finish with the open layup.
5-point game here now.
Biskupiak really giving some size to this Gallaudet Bison team as he chases, and he's able to end pretty good horizontally as well. And the foul there is going to be on number 1, Biskupiak. As we were talking about the job that he was doing trapping, maybe a little too aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, he had DeAndre Gibbs pretty much trapped right there. Nowhere for Gibbs to really go. Almost one of those situations where as a coach you maybe call a timeout because your player's trapped, but the refs are going to call a foul there.
It's also a bit frustrating on the defensive end for the Bison if you're playing like that. You think you're doing a great job.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, you're getting called for a touch foul.
It's definitely got to be frustrating, as Sherman will check back in for Valencia Biskupiak.
Biskupiak, that was his 4th foul in the afternoon. Both teams are in the bonus, so it'll be free throws here on out. Either way, as George Smith Jr. comes to the scorer's table to check back into the game. Loose ball. Villar comes away with it and able to finish with the reverse.
It's a really good job of staying with it by Alan Villar there.
It'll be Kelly into the front court. Nice pick there by Valencia. Hard pick. I don't think Gibbs even saw it coming. And they're going to call a foul. Foul there's going to be on Emil Perisic. His first foul in the evening, and a chance for Gallaudet to climb back into this game a little bit, trailing by 8 right now. And lots of free throws in the last few minutes almost have killed the momentum on the offensive end for these teams.
Yeah, that kind of pace of play is definitely subsided a little bit.
And Kelly able to only knock down 1, so it's a 7-point game. Inside to Bajrami, shot no good. Rebounded there by Daniels. Now Kelly has it. An opportunity for Gallaudet to trim the lead even more. Kelly right into the lane. Can he finish with the right hand? A little too strong. Gets his own rebound. Able to put it back up. No good. Ball bounces loose. Bajrami comes away with it. Over to Gibbs. Gibbs now on the left-hand side. He'll curl back. Give it up top to George Smith Jr. Now to Purisic. It's going to be an offensive foul on George Smith Jr. It's going to say a moving pick.
Number 15, John Porter Jr. And number 21, Cory Smith. Back in the Bison's lineup.
And now Werner back into the game for the Bison. Valencia thinks about the deep 3. Instead, he'll put it on the deck. Go into the paint, look for options. He puts up a wild shot, no good. The rebound kind of falls to him, though. And Valencia got the ball swiped from him. It's going to be Richards again. Finishes with the right hand. And you can see Baruch starting to extend that lead a little bit. Up 9 now, coming in on 4 minutes remaining here in the ball game. 70-61. Purisic picks up Smith. Smith looking for options, finds Sherman. Now he's covered by George Smith Jr. Werner, Gibbs all over him. Switch there. Now Gibbs on top of Valencia. Valencia hits the deck. Think they wanted another foul call there. That would have been another one for Valencia.
Not enough contact to definitely get that call there, though, as Bajrami dishes it back to Purisic.
Purisic over to Gibbs on the left wing. Into the paint. Gibbs scoop layup. No good. Gets his own tip. Ball still loose. It's going to go off of Gibbs last, and it'll go back to the Bisons. Gallaudet, though, maybe running out a little bit of starting to run out of time to start clawing back into this game. Down 9. Getting closer and closer to the end here.
Definitely hard-fought game on both sides, but you're right, David. If they want to start chipping away at this deficit, they got to do so now with 3 minutes closing out here.
Lewis now going baseline, looking for options. And Smith gets fouled as he goes up inside. Foul's going to be on number 14, Michael Richards. And, you know, first time we're watching this season Baruch's team, I really don't know what to take away. I mean, it's not like everyone's had an off-the-charts type of game. It's been a bit of a grind of a game, and Baruch really able to just grind a little harder at the end of the game compared to the Bisons.
Exactly. I think that's the best way to put it. So this team's kind of a little bit too early to tell the identity almost going forward. But as long as you just play hard and make plays when you have to make plays, it's usually going to lead to a win.
And, you know, just based off reading what we read about the first few games, not really seeing them, and also the box scores, you expect Donnell and and maybe Bajrami to really take the game over and be the leading scorer. Denellen hasn't played most of the second half.
Yeah.
And Bajrami, granted, having a quality game, but, you know, nothing that really, like, jumps off the stat sheet.
Of course.
And it'll be Smith that knocks down the second.
Rory Lewis.
And Gallaudet will come with the full court press as the inbound is batted out.
It's got to be dangerous, though. You got to be careful if you're Purisic right there trying to get that ball inbound. And now it'll be Bajrami to inbound. Inside to Gibbs, looking for options. Has to step through. Gives it off to Richards. Nice play there by Baruch to get it into the front court. Purisic will slow things down. Smart play there by the freshman, and now it'll be Gibbs up top. Over to Bajrami. Goes into the paint. High floater, right hand. A little too strong. And it'll be Jones who comes away with it for Gallaudet, trailing by 7. Can they cut into this deficit a little bit more? Smith into the paint. Now outside. Werner has a shot for 3. He hits the deck. Shot no good. And it's going to be a foul there. I think it's going to be on number 11, Bajrami. So it's going to stay with Gallaudet. And that's going to be free throws as they're in the bonus. So a big foul there if you're Bajrami, and a chance for Gallaudet to get some free points at the line.
Yeah, and speaking towards that lead, if they can convert both here, then talking 5-point ball game with 2.5 remaining. It's definitely feasible for a comeback.
Sloppy play there when you're off ball and creating a foul like that. I don't think it was, you know, and he knocks down the first. It wasn't any type of play where they both kind of went up for it. And Bajrami just came out on the wrong side of things. But
exactly. You can definitely tell he's going to be a big presence, though, for this Bearcats team on both sides of the ball.
And he knocks them both down, so it's back to 5, 70-65, 2:40 remaining. And once again, the pressure. Ooh, dangerous pass, but Purisic is able to corral it. Now over to Bajrami, who gets it into the half court. Good pick there by Gibbs, and now Gibbs will get the ball, and they're going to continue to trap. George Smith outside. Purisic knocks down the 3, and that could be a huge shot in the scheme of things. 73-64 now.
And Gallaudet's going to call a timeout here.
So it'll be 73. Scoreboard's reading 64 right now. I'm not sure. Actually, no, it's going to be corrected now. It is 73-65. It's an 8-point lead with 2:15 remaining as there's a timeout on the floor. But we're going to have ourselves a nice finish here at the Arc Arena here at Baruch College. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcat Broadcasting. So Baruch really struggling maybe a little bit to close this out. Definitely been, they just hit that 3 by Purisic.
That was big.
But before that, you know, you gave up those 2 free throws. It was down to 5.
Yeah, it was actually looking really close at that point. I mean, good job by Purisic to take over the game at that point. Knock down a really important 3-ball and create a little bit of breathing room for this Bearcats defense as clock's starting to get down into the final minutes here.
Gallaudet running out of time to finish off this comeback. So the inbound will be Baruch underneath. Into Purisic. Back to Bajrami. Dangerous. Ooh, almost got swiped there by Valencia. Up to Gibbs now. Gibbs into the front court. Smith had to, Jones had to not foul. Good job on that. And now it'll be Gibbs covered by Valencia. They're still going with the half-court trap. Over to Richards. Richards gets fouled as he goes inside, trying to lay it in. And they have a chance to extend the lead back to 9.
David, I just realized too, we haven't seen Ben Boateng all night.
No, he's been on the bench. They've been going Villar and Smith Jr. at the 5. Must be something that he's seen, that Coach Alisi has seen. With
maybe matchup-wise or.
Well, I mean, we've seen pretty much Villar when Biskupiak has come into the game, but in terms of when Sherman's in the game, I could see Boateng being an asset on the defensive end for sure. Unless, I don't know, maybe for some reason he's hurt or something.
Yeah,
or something
possibly.
other stuff we don't know about. But
yeah, it looks like Jack Reese as well is out today.
Yeah, we saw him. I didn't see Reese in the warm-ups, but I definitely saw Boateng warming up. So have to wonder if he was like a game-time decision or if it was just a coach's decision not to play him for this part of the game. And we still have a minute 58, but been averaging about 17 minutes per game so far on the season.
Gotta hope everyone's all right. And that's a wide-open look for Sherman as he drives it home.
And you have to wonder also if he was iffy about him playing, I mean, against a team that's coming in 0-4, do you maybe just rest him for this one because you have bigger games ahead? Not saying he's not a big game, but Bajrami able to finish the wide-open layup as Baruch easily breaks down the trap. But, I mean, if you have other big games ahead, including conference play that's going to start up soon, you have to wonder if there was, long-term thinking.
Almost perhaps a load management situation.
Oh, that's a debate in itself. Matt Sherman inside now. Able to get that on the bounce, and it's going to be a timeout for the Bisons. Coach Kovac just wants to talk things over. With a minute and 18 left, it's an 8-point game. Baruch lead, and you'd have to think a couple possessions here, and they could really have an opportunity to close this out.
Yeah, one or two more scoring possessions, and that would just about do it here for the Bearcats.
But I've been impressed with this Gallaudet team. I mean, you look at some of their games this year. They lost huge against Marymount, 90-36. They only lost to Hood University, 73-66. They lost by 20 to Catholic at Frederick, Maryland. And then they lost against Hampton Sydney only by 10. So it's been outside of, two of the games have been fairly close. So add this one to the close side of things. But we've seen them get blown out this season. So I didn't know what team to really expect here. And they've come in here, fought hard. And for the most part of the game, they really gave Baruch a run for their money, except for maybe the latter part of the second half.
Oh, absolutely. I think they bring a ton of physicality to the table. They really put it on the Bearcats to have to respond. And they have a lot of different offensive weapons. So I think this team will definitely figure it out throughout the season. And you're going to see that record improve. But, yeah, major credit to Gallaudet coming all the way from D.C.
And the crazy thing is, if you look at the stats, they're shooting only 1% less than Baruch. They're shooting 20% higher from three. They're shooting 67% from the free throw line, but that's, only on 12 attempts, so not a huge deal. They're out-rebounding by Baruch by 12. So when you look at the numbers, you think, oh, they should be winning this game.
Yeah.
And then you get down the stat sheet and you say, oh, okay, they had 23 turnovers to Baruch's 10.
And that'll do it.
So, you think about it, you limit half those turnovers, turn them into points, and they're probably winning this ball game right now.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, Denellen's back in the game now to break down the trap.
And Gibbs has come to the bench. It's Purisic, Bajrami, Graziano also to the game, Richards, and
1 minute remaining.
I think that was all five. My apologies. And now Purisic has it up top. 5 seconds left. Denellen looking for option. Crossover move into the lane. Kicks it outside to Graziano. Bajrami. Pull up three. No good. Rebounded there by Kelly. 45 seconds left. Baruch lead by 8. Waited for dangerous foul. That's a dangerous shot. And I think they're going to call 3 free throws on that one as Valencia again
is
going to go to the free throw line.
Today we're seeing that from Valencia. So, credit to him for drawing those fouls because I feel like we don't usually see those.
3 shots for number 10.
And just a sloppy shot there by Valencia, and I think he lucked out that he got that foul call.
Yeah, almost as if he kind of anticipated that contact.
So 77-70, 77-71.
For the Bison, number 11, Henry Joe. Replaced number 2, Matt Sherman.
And still 2 of 3. Ball almost goes out of bounds on Baruch. They're able to corral it. It's Denellen up top to Purisic, and he's able to finish and make it an 8-point game. And this might now be out of reach with 33 seconds left. As Valencia goes right inside, off glass, no good. Rebounded there by Purisic. Almost traveled there. Instead gives it off to Graziano. Bounce off to Purisic. Bounce all the way up to Denellen. Almost it was a double bounce pass. And the foul there is going to be on number 11, Jones. And this should seal it as Baruch up by 8 and an opportunity to go to the line to extend.
Again, real credit to the Bearcats late for figuring everything out on both sides of the ball, able to close this one out.
Definitely a grind of a ball game for both teams.
Yeah.
A lot of free throws here at the end of things. So
Baruch definitely had to fight for this one.
And Danella knocks down the first. His 6th point of the evening. Bajrami leading all scorers with 16. Richards had 13. Purisic has 12 off the bench with Graziano and Villar, both with 11. So you have 5 scorers in double digits for the Bearcats. It's going to be a tough day at the office for any team.
Absolutely. As Danellen,
he's trapped, and it's going to stay with the Bearcats. Nice trap there by the Bisons. 6.8 remaining. Baruch up by 7. You got to like the no quit by Gallaudet. Offensive foul there on Richards off the ball. So Gibbs back into the game as Danellen comes to the bench. And it's going to be a timeout for Coach Kovac and Gallaudet. 7 seconds left, and I guess maybe they think they could still make a move here. Down 7. But they do have the ball after a sloppy offensive foul there by Richards.
Yeah, not sure if a comeback is even feasible at this point. You'd have to
need some Reggie Miller on your team.
Yeah.
So,
but nonetheless, maybe
there's definitely still fight in this Gallaudet team, and you know they could still use these moments in game to work on stuff that they'll need to use later in the season.
That's a very good point.
Because we've seen them in close games before, so you'd have to assume they'll be in close games in the future. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to fall to 0-5.
But definitely no lack of fight on either side of the ball today.
So Baruch should be moving ahead to 3-1 unless we see some type of miraculous play here by Gallaudet at the end of things. And not sure what to make out of this Baruch basketball team. Granted, winning is always great.
Yep.
But not sure everyone understands. Not sure if everyone's role is defined yet.
Yeah.
And also, where are the points going to come game in and game out? Because I thought it was going to be Danellen and Bajrami leading things. Tonight it really wasn't. It was more, Bajrami is the leading scorer, so I shouldn't say that, but Purisic, it's been a really 1 through 5 type of night.
Pretty balanced on the scoring effort, so you're absolutely right. I think maybe some of the roles aren't fully defined yet, so everyone's just kind of trying to figure out where they fit into the system, and definitely some more work to do as the season rolls on, but definitely some promising thing out of this new Bearcats roster.
So interesting play there. It looked like Sherman had a wide open 3 to get on the inbound. Maybe it was Valencia who had a wide open 3 on the inbound. They just didn't give it to him, and they swung it back around. So he does knock down the 3, but that will do it. Here at the Arc Arena, it is 80-76. Baruch pull off the W, and it's a clean sweep for the Bearcats today as the Lady Bearcats in the first game of the doubleheader beat Cobleskill by a point on some late free throws by Daniela Zerpolo, 72-71. And then Baruch men here cleaning stuff up at the end, 80-76, and a very interesting game. Like we said, we're not really sure what to make of this team. You have to be happy you take away the win. A lot of scoring, but people still trying to figure out what they need to do and where they need to be.
Absolutely. You improved to now 3-1 on the season, but I think it's going to take a few more games to kind of find their stride as a team, and like we said, just everyone kind of figure out where they fit in.
Exactly, and also how does Jack Reese and Benjamin Boateng, 2 guys we mentioned as well.
Absolutely.
When they're 100% fit, how are they going to fit into this rotation as well? Because we saw minimal minutes from them tonight. So,
yeah, that is a really good question. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out, but hopefully a lot of success on the horizon for this Baruch men's basketball team.
So more basketball this week upcoming. The women will play 1 game on Wednesday night. They head to NYU, but they will be playing at Hunter as their NYU gym is still being built. And the men will be here on Tuesday night, the 26th, versus Stevens at 7 p.m. So definitely do not forget to tune in. It'll be Brian and myself, I believe, calling that game.
Yes, sir.
And we've got a great night of basketball and another hard battle. So Baruch going to move to 3-1, leading the conference right. Oh, everyone's tied in conference play. Obviously, it's 0-0, but best team overall record in conference is the Bearcats. And the women of Baruch have moved to 5-0. So definitely, we're seeing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with Nia Dawson, Spy Polo Snyder, Yee. You can keep going down the list. So. Yeah. It should be a fun event, so definitely come out on Tuesday night if you're here, and if you can make it over to Hunter on Wednesday night for the women's game and an opportunity for them to move 6-0. The women actually have 4 straight road games, so they will not be back here at home until Monday, December 30th against Ramapo. We'll have a couple men's games between then here, but they'll play Worcester State on December 2nd. So once again, your final scores here from the Arc Arena in the first game between the women Bearcats and SUNY Cobleskill Fighting Tigers. Baruch won 72-71 on some late game free throws by Daniela Zerpolo and some great defense on the other end by the Bearcats as a team. And your men's team won here 80-76. A hard-fought grind of a game late in the second half. So this broadcast has been in conjunction with the Baruch Athletics Department and the Baruch men and women's basketball teams. For Brian Flannery, I'm David Just. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.